Here's the monument for the crimes of Nazi-occupied Hungary, and I'm here, of course, to apologize and to regret and to repent all the crimes which were happening in the name of whatever regime, of the Austrian, Hungarian, of the German, of the Nazi regime, which was ever done to the Hungarians. But in the context of today's confrontation, where Russia is using violence against the Ukrainians, I want to make very clear that no amount of crimes and genocide and disasters of the past are a justification for what Russia is doing now against the Ukrainians. You cannot say, because of World War II or the Holocaust or whatever crimes ever happened, as terrible as they were, that you can roll now the tanks and squash the Ukrainians in some kind of bizarre logic of justification of past crimes that somehow invented to give you the apologies for invading, for suppression, for torture, for murder, for genocide. Not the Second World War, not the communists, not any kind of security concerns, because none of the Europeans even was alive during that time. None of the Ukrainians was anyhow implicated. This is absolutely incredible, fabricated, kind of bizarre logic. It's not the right word, because it's actually a distortion of truth and of logic, and it's absolutely unacceptable that Russia claims in the eyes of their own security, as if anybody here would ever dare or consider even to invade Russia. And what happened in World War I or in the times of Napoleon or in the Second World War, it's very well documented and it's anyhow uncontested. But it cannot be somehow constructed logic that anybody would do something like that. Far that we have the capacities, we have no will, and we are not aggressive at all. It's Russia, the aggressive power, and they are now carrying on the inheritance of the Nazis, because that's the truth. It's today's Russia, which is the ideological inheritance of fascism, communism in a bizarre mix. It's less ideologically, it's the same aggressive power, this will to kill, this determination to dominate, which is incorporated by the present ruler of the Kremlin, which is in a way the ideological inheritance of Hitler and Stalin, by his will to impose his imperial direction, no matter what the cost, and victims like those he takes into account, because they are humans like the 15,000 Ukrainians who were killed now by his war machine already, and more to come in his determination for violence and killing. And you know what? Anyhow, what was in the past, we can only regret, repent. We can do, of course, indemnizations. Yes, that's all necessary, but the question of politics must always be how to avoid such a disaster in the present future. We cannot say, okay, because it happened, we can, and there was some German left-wingers, they say, oh, we were guilty 80 years ago, and therefore Russia is justified to have some imperial ambition because it needs for their security. And then people get killed because of some invented idea of security, and then you say, yeah, we were guilty, so we couldn't do anything. No, you are guilty when in the moment of something terrible, when something happens here, and I don't help in the streets of Budapest, that's a neglected help. Unterlassene Hilfeleistung, I don't know exactly the English word, but it's obvious. You have the moral duty to protect. And if we believe in all these values we are talking about, all these European things, and we let let's not forget here in the streets of Budapest, it's a very good argument, because we let the Hungarians die in '56 and the Eastern Germans in '53, There is, of course, the logic that a big power with nuclear weapons can kill its people, and it's under their fist, because you cannot risk the big war. So, will we sacrifice the Ukrainians? We have sacrificed already the people on Crimea and Eastern Donbass. Will we sacrifice more Ukrainians in the same logic of the Cold War? You can kill your own people, we don't care, or we care but we can do nothing? And these are really very serious questions. But can we then say we are the moral superpower? I mean, does the past crime, as terrible as they were, give the justification for present brutality and genocide? If that's the word, I'm absolutely opposed to that. And I hope it's not. Anyhow, so far from the Liberty Square, I hope it was interesting. The Ronald Reagan Monument, the American Embassy, the Central Bank. I call for better foreign policy of Hungary, for change. I call for the euro. I call for a foreign policy which is pro-Ukrainian, and many more things, and more to come from Pax Europiana, this time from Budapest. And hopefully European Hungary to return very soon. Bye.